Hello there, and welcome to the Sleepy at Night channel. Tonight, we drift into the majestic realm of birds, the ancient travelers of the sky, who have shaped our world in countless quiet ways, from the soft rustle of wings in twilight air to the distant calls that echo across oceans and forests. Birds carry stories older than human memory. They move through landscapes with a grace that feels almost magical, and yet with such ease it invites us to wonder how it is even possible for such delicate creatures to navigate the globe. This journey will explore mysteries hidden within feathers, instincts that seem to defy explanation, and abilities that reveal how deeply connected these animals are to the world around them. As we wander deeper, you may find yourself surprised by just how much the skies can teach us. If you enjoy these quiet journeys, I invite you to subscribe, or share a thought below. It helps others find their way here too. One sleepy soul at a time. But for now, just breathe, allow your mind to settle and your body to soften, and let yourself relax as we drift into the night sky. Let us begin. Birds are the direct, living descendants of dinosaurs. When you look at a bird, you are seeing a lineage that stretches back to the mighty reptiles that once ruled the planet. Their feathers, hollow bones, and even the shape of their legs and hips whisper of an age when giant creatures roamed beneath ancient skies. This connection is not symbolic, it is literal, written into their skeletons and the way their bodies move. Many traits that helped small feathered dinosaurs survive the shifting climates of the past still guide birds today. Their balance, their ability to regulate heat, and their remarkable strategies for raising young are echoes of a world long vanished. Scientists study these clues to understand how a creature that once shared forests with colossal predators slowly transformed into the delicate forms we now see perched on branches or soaring overhead. Each wing beat carries a story that began millions of years ago, a story of resilience, adaptation, and the astonishing continuity of life across vast stretches of time. Some birds migrate farther than any other animal on Earth, across oceans, continents, and shifting seasons. Some birds embark on journeys of unimaginable length. They travel from one end of the world to the other, guided by instinct, memory, and the subtle cues of sky and sea. During these migrations, they pass over storms, mountains, and endless spans of water where there is no place to rest. Their bodies undergo seasonal transformations that store energy, streamline feathers, and prepare muscles for the incredible distance ahead. Along the way, they navigate by stars, coastlines, and magnetic fields, adjusting their course with astonishing precision. Their determination carries them through day and night as they follow ancient paths written into their lineage. The scale of these journeys surpasses anything attempted by most animals, revealing an endurance that feels almost mythical. Each year, they complete this cycle, stitching together distant corners of the planet through the quiet power of flight. A few species build architectural nests that rival human engineering across forest, grasslands, and wetlands. Certain birds shape their nests with an artistry and precision that feels almost architectural. They gather twigs, grasses, mud, and fibers and weave them into structures that can withstand storms, predators, and the weight of growing chicks. Some nests are suspended from branches like delicate woven baskets. Others rise into towering colonies where each chamber is crafted for safety and airflow. Birds that build with mud mix just the right balance of moisture into every pellet, sculpting walls that harden into protective shells. Birds that weave use their beaks like tiny hands, knotting and looping strands in patterns that seem impossibly intricate. These designs arise not from blueprints but from instincts refined over countless generations, yet the precision remains astonishing. Every curve, entrance, and reinforcement contributes to temperature control, stability, and defense. Their nests reveal a deep understanding of environment and material, showing how even the smallest creatures create homes shaped by wisdom carried through time. Some birds can mimic human speech with astonishing precision. Within the world of birds, there are species capable of reproducing human sounds so accurately that their voices can momentarily deceive the ear. This ability does not come from understanding language in a human sense, but from possessing flexible vocal organs that can shape airflow into a wide range of tones. These birds listen closely to patterns around them and repeat them with remarkable fidelity, whether it is a single word, the melody of a ringtone, or the sound of a closing door. Their talent often develops in social environments where vocal learning is essential for communication within flocks or between mates. This adaptability allows them to absorb new sounds with ease. Scientists study these abilities to understand how vocal learning evolves and how the brain processes complex patterns. To hear a bird echo the human voice is to glimpse a bridge between species, a reminder that sound carries power far beyond simple communication, and that nature often hides unexpected forms of intelligence. A tiny bird can hover in place by quietly rewriting the rules of flight. There exists a small group of birds whose wings move in ways unlike almost any others, allowing them to remain suspended in the air as if held by an invisible thread. Their hovering comes from a delicate balance of wing rotation, rapid motion, and precise control of invisible currents. Unlike most birds who depend on forward movement to stay aloft, these small aerial specialists create lift on both the upward and downward strokes of their wings. Their muscles work with astonishing efficiency, powering a form of flight that appears effortless despite the immense energy it requires. While hovering, they sip nectar from flowers, examine petals at close range, or quietly observe their surroundings without drifting. Their movements trace soft arcs through the air, revealing a mastery of balance and momentum. Researchers often compare their motion to that of insects, yet the mechanics remain entirely their own. Every wing beat reflects the endless creativity of evolution and the many different ways life has learned to move through the sky. Certain birds drum on trees to communicate across forests in quiet woodland spaces. Rhythmic tapping often travels through the air long before the bird behind the sound is ever seen. For these species, drumming replaces or complements vocal calls, creating a long-distance language shaped through vibration. They choose resonant trees and hollow branches, striking them in carefully timed patterns that travel across wide stretches of forest. Each rhythm carries meaning, from territorial warnings to courtship signals. The drumming is never random. Birds adjust tempo, intensity, and duration depending on their purpose. Their beaks and skulls are uniquely adapted to absorb repeated impacts without harm, allowing them to drum again and again with remarkable precision. These sounds help maintain social order and allow individuals to locate one another through thick foliage and uneven terrain. When you listen closely, a forest becomes alive with coded rhythms where communication travels not only through voice but through wood and motion. A bird's hollow bones are strong enough to survive extreme forces. Although hollow bones may sound fragile, they are shaped through a remarkable balance of lightness and strength. Inside, thin supporting struts form a lattice that reinforces each bone from within. Much like nature's own bridge design, this structure allows birds to fly without carrying unnecessary weight, while still enduring the immense pressure of takeoff, landing, and rapid changes in direction. Some species soar on rising currents of air, while others weave through dense forests with astonishing agility. Every movement places stress on their skeleton, yet their bones remain resilient. The design also supports breathing as air flows through parts of their skeleton, making each breath more efficient during flight. This harmony of engineering and biology reveals how deeply evolution shaped their bodies for life in the sky. Every quiet wing beat is supported by a framework that is both delicate and incredibly durable. Some birds navigate across the planet using the Earth's magnetic field. Hidden within the eyes or beaks of certain migratory birds are microscopic structures that respond to the planet's magnetic energy. These act as living compasses, guiding birds across oceans and continents with astonishing accuracy. While humans rely on maps and instruments, birds move through a subtle web of cues that includes sunlight, landforms, and faint magnetic patterns stretching across the globe. Scientists believe some birds may even see the magnetic field as soft gradients of color blending seamlessly into their vision. This sense allows them to travel vast distances, return to the same nesting sites year after year, and gently correct their course when winds or storms push them astray. It is a form of navigation so refined it feels almost magical, yet it works quietly within their bodies, a gift shaped by countless generations of migration and survival. Certain bird feathers bend light to create color without a single drop of pigment. Some of the most brilliant bird colors are not created by dyes or chemical pigments. Instead, they emerge from microscopic structures within the feathers that scatter and reflect light with perfect precision. As sunlight passes through these tiny layers, it splits and recombines in a shimmering blues, greens, and iridescent hues that shift with every angle. This is why some birds sparkle like living jewels as they move. This effect, known as structural color, produces shades that remain radiant. Even as feathers age, these colors may attract mates, signal strength, or help birds blend into glistening environments like water and a sunlit forest. The physics behind these feathers blurs the line between biology and art, showing how nature builds beauty not from color alone, but from the gentle dance between light and structure. Some birds sleep while gliding high above the open ocean, far from land. Certain ocean traveling birds spend days drifting over waves without ever touching the surface. To survive this endless journey, they rest one half of the brain at a time, while the other remains awake enough to guide their flight. This rare form of sleep allows them to follow wind patterns, avoid obstacles, and remain on course. While still finding rest, they drift on powerful updrafts, letting the air carry them with quiet grace. The ocean beneath stretches endlessly, offering no safe place to land, yet they remain steady. Their wings lock in a smooth, aerodynamic positions, reducing the effort needed to stay aloft. This balance between rest and motion creates a rhythm unlike anything humans experience, a slow drifting state where awareness softens, but the body continues moving through vast and silent skies. There are birds that sing with two independent voices at the same time. Deep within certain birds lies a remarkable vocal organ divided into two chambers, each capable of producing sound on its own. This allows a single bird to weave two melodies at once, creating layered harmonies that sound almost otherworldly to human ears. These dual voices help birds rise above the chorus of the forest, where countless songs overlap. Each chamber can shift pitch independently, turning one voice in a harmony while the other carries melody. The result is a soundscape that feels rich, fluid, and alive. Their songs become not just calls, but living music shaped by breath, rhythm, and quiet mastery. These layered songs may signal strength or skill to potential mates, or allow birds to send subtle messages across great distances. The complexity of these melodies reflects an extraordinary level of control, as the bird must guide two flowing streams of sound with perfect timing. Scientists study these abilities to understand how birds process such intricate patterns within their brains. Listening to one of these songs is like hearing a duet performed by a single living presence, a quiet reminder of how deeply creativity and communication are woven into the natural world. Some species remember thousands of food hiding places with astonishing accuracy. Certain birds scatter seeds across wide landscapes, tucking them into soil, bark, and hidden crevices to recover later when food grows scarce. What seems almost impossible is their ability to relocate these caches months after they were buried. Their memory reaches far beyond simple instinct. They recall landmarks, tiny shifts in terrain, and the precise positions of countless hidden stores. Their brains contain specialized regions devoted to spatial memory, regions that expand during seasons when caching becomes essential. This remarkable inner map allows them to survive harsh winters and uncertain climates. Even when snow blankets the ground and plants lie silent, these birds move confidently through their territory, uncovering the supplies they once hid. Their precision is so great that many retrieve nearly all of their stored food, revealing a level of cognitive skill that rivals many mammals. A bird's heart can beat far faster than any mammal during flight. When a bird lifts from the ground, its entire body shifts into a high-energy state. The heart responds with rapid, powerful rhythms, delivering oxygen-rich blood to the flight muscles. During intense flight, the rate rises to levels far beyond what a mammal could sustain. This incredible speed fuels wings that may beat many times each second in smaller species. To support this demand, birds breathe in a unique way. Fresh air flows through their lungs even as they exhale, ensuring a steady supply of oxygen. Their circulatory systems operate with stunning efficiency, keeping the body cool and energized despite constant motion. This perfectly tuned system explains how birds perform long migrations, sudden aerial climbs, and sharp turns in the sky. Their hearts are engines built for the air, driving every glide and every quiet wing beat. There are birds that dance in dazzling courtship displays across forest plains and distant islands. Certain birds transform courtship in a living performance. Males prepare stages by clearing leaves, arranging objects, or choosing bright openings where light falls just right. Once ready, the dance begins. Their movements become fluid and expressive, shifting between quick steps, sudden leaps, and slow sweeping arcs. Some flash vibrant feathers that shimmer as they move. Others pair motion with songs that rise and fall in flowing rhythm. These displays are not random. They are practiced expressions of health, coordination, and genetic strength. Females watch closely, reading every movement before choosing. Scientists believe these dances are a form of artistic communication shaped by natural selection over long stretches of time. Witnessing such a display offers a glimpse into a world where beauty and survival intertwine and where movement itself becomes a language written in feathers and air. Some birds can drink salt water and survive along wild coastlines and open seas. Certain birds live where fresh water is rare. Their secret lies in specialized glands near the eyes that remove excess salt from the bloodstream. When these birds drink seawater, the salt is filtered and released in concentrated droplets, allowing the remaining fluid to safely hydrate the body. This rare ability frees them from the limits faced by most land animals. They can travel far from shore, glide above endless oceans, and feed where fresh water would be impossible to find. Their bodies maintain a delicate balance between hydration and salt with remarkable precision. By giving them access to a resource most animals cannot use, this trait supports their distant travels and ocean-bound lives, revealing how evolution quietly equips species for survival in the world's most demanding places. A few bird species coordinate hunts through intelligent teamwork. For them, hunting is not a solitary act, but a shared effort shaped by communication, awareness, and trust. Some drive prey from hiding, while others wait in silent position to intercept. Each movement unfolds like a practice sequence guided by subtle signals exchanged within the group. They adjust timing, posture, and flight with careful precision. Working together allows them to flush out prey too fast or clever for any single hunter. Scientists study these hunts to understand how cooperation evolves and how birds read the intentions of their companions. Team hunting strengthens bonds and increases survival by providing steady access to food. Watching these coordinated movements reveals a quiet intelligence that reshapes what we understand about bird behavior and the power of shared purpose in the natural world. High above forests, cliffs, and open plains, certain birds ride invisible rivers of rising air that allow them to travel extraordinary distances without a single wing beat, as sunlight warms the ground and creates columns of uplift that spiral gently into the sky. Birds position themselves with exquisite precision, angling their wings to capture each shifting movement of air, their bodies becoming instruments of balance and sensitivity that respond instantly to the slightest tilt or drift. As they glide, they conserve tremendous amounts of energy, sometimes covering vast portions of their migrations through motion that appears almost effortless, seeming from the ground as if suspended in slow drifting arcs, while above they read the atmosphere like a living map. This mastery allows them to search for food, scan the landscape, and navigate across continents while scarcely tiring, and their gliding stands as a testament to the deep harmony between bird and sky, shaped through generations of adaptation. There are also birds that sculpt tunnels underground to raise their young, carving intricate burrows into sandy hillsides and riverbanks with their feet and beaks like gentle chisels, forming long, smooth passages that remain stable despite loose soil and protect their eggs from predators, extreme temperatures, and harsh weather. Inside these chambers, the air stays cool and still, creating a safe nursery where chicks grow without disturbance, while the birds navigate effortlessly through the darkness, guided by memory and touch, often returning to the same burrows year after year too. A bird's hollow bones are strong enough to survive extreme forces. Although hollow bones may sound fragile, they are shaped through a remarkable balance of lightness and strength inside thin. Supporting struts form a lattice that reinforces each bone from within, much like nature's own bridge design. This structure allows birds to fly without carrying unnecessary weight, while still enduring the immense pressure of takeoff, landing, and rapid changes in direction. Some species soar on rising currents of air, while others weave through dense forests with astonishing agility. Every movement places stress on their skeleton, yet their bones remain resilient. The design also supports breathing as air flows through parts of their skeleton, making each breath more efficient during flight. This harmony of engineering and biology reveals how deeply evolution shaped their bodies for life in the sky. Every quiet wing beat is supported by a framework that is both delicate and incredibly durable. Some birds navigate across the planet using the Earth's magnetic field. Hidden within the eyes or beaks of certain migratory birds are microscopic structures that respond to the planet's magnetic energy. These act as living compasses, guiding birds across oceans and continents with astonishing accuracy. While humans rely on maps and instruments, birds move through a subtle web of cues that includes sunlight, landforms, and faint magnetic patterns stretching across the globe. Scientists believe some birds may even see the magnetic field as soft gradients of color blending seamlessly into their vision. This sense allows them to travel vast distances, return to the same nesting sites year after year, and gently correct their course when winds or storms push them astray. It is a form of navigation so refined it feels almost magical, yet it works quietly within their bodies, a gift shaped by countless generations of migration and survival. Certain bird feathers bend light to create color without a single drop of pigment. Some of the most brilliant bird colors are not created by dyes or chemical pigments. Instead, they emerge from microscopic structures within the feathers that scatter and reflect light with perfect precision. As sunlight passes through these tiny layers, it splits and recombines in a shimmering blues, greens, and iridescent hues that shift with every angle. This is why some birds sparkle like living jewels as they move. This effect, known as structural color, produces shades that remain radiant even as feathers age. These colors may attract mates, signal strength, or help birds blend into glistening environments like water and a sunlit forest. The physics behind these feathers blurs the line between biology and art, showing how nature builds beauty not from color alone, but from the gentle dance between light and structure. Some birds sleep while gliding high above the open ocean, far from land. Certain ocean traveling birds spend days drifting over waves without ever touching the surface. To survive this endless journey, they rest one half of the brain at a time, while the other remains awake enough to guide their flight. This rare form of sleep allows them to follow wind patterns, avoid obstacles, and remain on course. While still finding rest, they drift on powerful updrafts, letting the air carry them with quiet grace. The ocean beneath stretches endlessly, offering no safe place to land, yet they remain steady. Their wings lock in a smooth, aerodynamic positions, reducing the effort needed to stay aloft. This balance between rest and motion creates a rhythm unlike anything humans experience, a slow drifting state where awareness softens, but the body continues moving through vast and silent skies. There are birds that sing with two independent voices at the same time. Deep within certain birds lies a remarkable vocal organ divided into two chambers, each capable of producing sound on its own. This allows a single bird to weave two melodies at once, creating layered harmonies that sound almost otherworldly to human ears. These dual voices help birds rise above the chorus of the forest, where countless songs overlap. Each chamber can shift pitch independently, turning one voice in a harmony while the other carries melody. The result is a soundscape that feels rich, fluid, and alive. Their songs become not just calls, but living music shaped by breath, rhythm, and quiet mastery. These layered songs may signal strength or skill to potential mates, or allow birds to send subtle messages across great distances. The complexity of these melodies reflects an extraordinary level of control, as the bird must guide two flowing streams of sound. With perfect timing, scientists study these abilities to understand how birds process such intricate patterns within their brains. Listening to one of these songs is like hearing a duet performed by a single living presence, a quiet reminder of how deeply creativity and communication are woven into the natural world. Some species remember thousands of food hiding places with astonishing accuracy. Certain birds scatter seeds across wide landscapes, tucking them into soil, bark, and hidden crevices to recover later when food grows scarce. What seems almost impossible is their ability to relocate these caches months after they were buried. Their memory reaches far beyond simple instinct. They recall landmarks, tiny shifts in terrain, and the precise positions of countless hidden stores. Their brains contain specialized regions devoted to spatial memory, regions that expand during seasons when caching becomes essential. This remarkable inner map allows them to survive harsh winters and uncertain climates. Even when snow blankets the ground and plants lie silent, these birds move confidently through their territory, uncovering the supplies they once hid. Their precision is so great that many retrieve nearly all of their stored food, revealing a level of cognitive skill that rivals many mammals. A bird's heart can beat far faster than any mammal during flight. When a bird lifts from the ground, its entire body shifts into a high-energy state. The heart responds with rapid, powerful rhythms, delivering oxygen-rich blood to the flight muscles. During intense flight, the rate rises to levels far beyond what a mammal could sustain. This incredible speed fuels wings that may beat many times each second in smaller species. To support this demand, birds breathe in a unique way. Fresh air flows through their lungs even as they exhale, ensuring a steady supply of oxygen. Their circulatory systems operate with stunning efficiency, keeping the body cool and energized despite constant motion. This perfectly tuned system explains how birds perform long migrations, sudden aerial climbs, and sharp turns in the sky. Their hearts are engines built for the air, driving every glide and every quiet wing beat. There are birds that dance in dazzling courtship displays across forest plains and distant islands. Certain birds transform courtship in a living performance. Males prepare stages by clearing leaves, arranging objects, or choosing bright openings where light falls just right. Once ready, the dance begins. Their movements become fluid and expressive, shifting between quick steps, sudden leaps, and slow sweeping arcs. Some flash vibrant feathers that shimmer as they move. Others pair motion with songs that rise and fall in flowing rhythm. These displays are not random. They are practiced expressions of health, coordination, and genetic strength. Females watch closely, reading every movement before choosing. Scientists believe these dances are a form of artistic communication shaped by natural selection over long stretches of time. Witnessing such a display offers a glimpse into a world where beauty and survival intertwine, and where movement itself becomes a language written in feathers and air. Some birds can drink salt water and survive along wild coastlines and open seas. Certain birds live where fresh water is rare. Their secret lies in specialized glands near the eyes that remove excess salt from the bloodstream. When these birds drink seawater, the salt is filtered and released in concentrated droplets, allowing the remaining fluid to safely hydrate the body. This rare ability frees them from the limits faced by most land animals. They can travel far from shore, glide above endless oceans, and feed where fresh water would be impossible to find. Their bodies maintain a delicate balance between hydration and salt with remarkable precision by giving them access to a resource most animals cannot use. This trait supports their distant travels and ocean-bound lives, revealing how evolution quietly equips species for survival in the world's most demanding places. A few bird species coordinate hunts through intelligent teamwork. For them, hunting is not a solitary act, but a shared effort shaped by communication, awareness, and trust. Some drive prey from hiding, while others wait in silent position to intercept Each movement unfolds like a practice sequence guided by subtle signals exchanged within the group. They adjust timing, posture, and flight with careful precision. Working together allows them to flush out prey too fast or clever for any single hunter. Scientists study these hunts to understand how cooperation evolves and how birds read the intentions of their companions' team. Hunting strengthens bonds and increases survival by providing steady access to food. Watching these coordinated movements reveals a quiet intelligence that reshapes what we understand about bird behavior and the power of shared purpose in the natural world. High above forests, cliffs, and open plains, certain birds ride invisible rivers of rising air that allow them to travel extraordinary distances without a single wing beat, as sunlight warms the ground and creates columns of uplift that spiral gently into the sky. Birds position themselves with exquisite precision, angling their wings to capture each shifting movement of air, their bodies becoming instruments of balance and sensitivity that respond instantly to the slightest tilt or drift. As they glide, they conserve tremendous amounts of energy, sometimes covering vast portions of their migrations through motion that appears almost effortless, seeming from the ground as if suspended in slow drifting arcs, while above they read the atmosphere like a living map. This mastery allows them to search for food, scan the landscape, and navigate across continents while scarcely tiring, and their gliding stands as a testament to the deep harmony between bird and sky, shaped through generations of adaptation. There are also birds that sculpt tunnels underground to raise their young, carving intricate burrows into sandy hillsides and riverbanks with their feet and beaks like gentle chisels, forming long, smooth passages that remain stable despite loose soil and protect their eggs from predators, extreme temperatures, and harsh weather. Inside these chambers, the air stays cool and still, creating a safe nursery where chicks grow without disturbance, while the birds navigate effortlessly through the darkness, guided by memory and touch, often returning to the same burrows year after year to reinforce and expand them. Some species can swim and fly with equal mastery, their bodies finely tuned for both sky and water, seeming unassuming on land, but astonishing once they leap into the air or dive beneath the surface. Their wings acting as powerful paddles underwater and perfect aerodynamic tools in flight. Their feathers layered and coated to resist water absorption and keep them warm even in freezing seas. Their eyes adjust seamlessly between the refracted world beneath the waves and the open clarity above, allowing accurate vision in both realms. And this dual mastery lets them hunt where other birds cannot reach and escape predators with fluid transitions between water and air. A bird's wing shape quietly reveals the story of its entire lifestyle, as long, narrow wings belong to species that travel great distances, broad, rounded wings to birds that maneuver through forests, pointed wings to those built for speed, and wide wings to those that ride gentle thermal currents, while even the spacing of feathers shapes airflow for hovering, gliding, or rapid acceleration. By studying these wings, scientists can read a hidden biography written in form alone, revealing habits, habitats, and survival strategies shaped by evolution. Some birds can see ultraviolet trails left behind by insects, turning leaves, flowers, and forest floors into glowing maps of hidden movement and food, where flowers shine with secret rings of nectar and faint traces of motion shimmer for eyes specially tuned to unseen light, allowing birds to locate nourishment with remarkable efficiency and communicate through feather patterns invisible to humans. And in open grasslands and rocky plains, certain species sprint with astonishing speed, their long legs acting like powerful springs that store energy with each step and release it in explosive bursts that propel them swiftly across the land. Their lightweight bodies reduce drag, allowing rapid acceleration and agile direction changes. They use this speed to chase prey, escape predators, or patrol large territories with remarkable efficiency. Their running style is a blend of balance and momentum, with heads held steady while their legs blur. Beneath them, feathers help stabilize the body during fast sprints, guiding airflow in ways that keep them centered. Observing these birds in motion reveals the hidden athleticism within avian life. They are not only creatures of the sky, but also skilled runners whose abilities challenge assumptions about what birds can do. Their speed is an adaptation born from survival, shaped by landscapes that reward swift movement. Some birds create musical duets with perfect timing precision within dense forests and open clearings. Pairs of certain bird species sing in coordinated patterns so tightly woven that both voices merge into a single, seamless melody. Each partner listens for subtle cues from the other, entering at exactly the right moment to complete the musical phrase. These duets strengthen pair bonds and help defend territories by signaling unity and cooperation. The timing is so precise that the combined song can sound like one voice performing intricate rhythms impossible for a single bird. Their vocal organs allow rapid shifts in pitch, tone, and pacing, enabling them to build harmonies that rise and fall with elegant balance. Scientists who study these performances use high-speed recordings to track how each partner anticipates the other's next note. Their psalms reveal both deep communication and emotional connection. When heard in the wild, these duets feel like conversations set to music echoing across the landscape. With gentle beauty, a few species blur the line between feather and fur. Some birds possess plumage so fine and densely packed that it resembles the softness of fur rather than the structured veins seen in most feathers. This adaptation helps them thrive in frigid environments where heat is precious. The downy structure traps layers of warm air close to the skin, creating insulation far superior to typical feathers. These birds maintain body warmth even during harsh winters or icy winds. The texture also repels moisture, preventing snow or frost from clinging to their bodies. When they move, their feathers shift like a silky coat, giving them an appearance almost distinct from other birds. This unusual plumage reveals how flexible avian evolution can be, modifying the basic feather into forms that serve highly specialized needs. It also highlights how warmth, survival, and beauty intersect in surprising ways, shaping creatures that seem both familiar and wonderfully strange. Some birds transform their voices to mimic entire soundscapes. Certain birds are able to reproduce not just simple calls, but the layered sounds of their entire environment. They may mimic the rustle of leaves, the calls of multiple species, the rhythm of rainfall, or distant natural noises. Their vocal organs allow them to shift tone and texture with extraordinary fluidity, blending sounds into immersive imitations that feel almost sculpted. This talent may help them impress mates, defend territory, or conceal their presence. By blending into the background, their brains process sound with such precision that they can memorize complex auditory patterns after only brief exposure. Listening to one of these birds can be startling as familiar natural noises emerge from a single small creature perched among branches. Their mimicry is a form of expression and adaptation shaped by the rich acoustic landscapes in which they live. Through their voices, they weave illusions that redefine what bird song can be. There are birds that migrate to heights where humans could not breathe. Some migratory birds travel through altitudes so high that the air holds only a fraction of the oxygen available at sea level. At these heights, temperatures plunge and winds shift unpredictably, yet the birds press onward with unwavering determination. Their bodies contain specialized adaptations that allow efficient oxygen absorption even in thin air. Their blood carries oxygen with exceptional affinity, and their lungs move air continuously through a system that remains effective even under strain. Flying at such altitude helps them avoid predators and cross mountain ranges with minimal turbulence. The view beneath them is a world reduced to patterns of snow, stone, and cloud. Despite the harsh conditions, they remain strong and focused, guided by ancient migration routes that stretch across continents. Their high altitude journeys are among the most extreme feats in the animal kingdom, revealing endurance that seems almost beyond imagination. Some birds hatch from eggs with built-in survival instinct from the moment some chicks emerge into the world. They carry instincts that guide their earliest movements and choices. These instincts are not taught. They are inherited through long lines of ancestors who survived by reacting quickly to danger, hunger, and Changing environments, certain chicks know to freeze. When shadows pass overhead, sensing that stillness may protect them from predators, others instinctively peck at food items that resemble the nourishment their species relies on even before they have seen an adult feed. Some can walk within hours, their muscles already wired for balance and coordination. Scientists study these feathers to understand how nature shapes optical structures that rival advanced human technologies. The shimmering effect is both beautiful and functional, a union of physics and biology that transforms the bird into a moving spectrum. Each glint becomes a reminder of the intricate artistry hidden within the natural world. Some birds detect vibrations in the air that humans cannot feel long before a predator approaches or distant thunder rolls across the horizon. Certain birds sense faint disturbances carried through air and ground. Their bodies contain specialized receptors that respond to subtle vibrations invisible to human senses. These signals warn them of approaching footsteps, wing beats, or shifting weather in dense forests or tall grasslands. This ability becomes a powerful survival tool, allowing them to react swiftly even when sight and sound offer little information. They may take flight, alter their calls, or move silently to safer ground. Scientists believe this sensitivity helps them maintain communication within flocks. Since some vibrations travel farther than audible calls, it also assists them in hunting, guiding them toward insects concealed beneath bark or soil. Their awareness of these delicate tremors reveals how finely attuned birds can be to environments that appear still to us. For them, the world hums with hidden messages. Certain birds can catch insects with unbelievable precision mid-flight. For some birds, flight is not only a way to travel, but a method of hunting that demands extraordinary accuracy. They maneuver through the air with split-second timing, adjusting their angle and speed to intercept insects that dart unpredictably. Their eyes track motion faster than human perception allows, and their wings respond instantly to every shift in wind. By coordinating sight, balance, and muscle control, they capture prey in midair with effortless grace. Some species sweep open their beaks to create a wide catching surface, while others snatch insects with pinpoint accuracy. This aerial hunting requires stamina, agility, and a deep understanding of airflow. During peak feeding times, they may repeat this process hundreds of times, each catch a perfect alignment of instinct and skill. Watching these birds reveals how mastery of flight becomes intertwined with the pursuit of nourishment, and how elegance and survival coexist among the clouds. Some species maintain complex social hierarchies within flocks. Of certain birds, relationships extend far beyond simple gathering. Individuals recognize one another, remember past interactions, and form social rankings that influence behavior. Higher-ranking birds may claim preferred feeding positions or nesting sites, while lower-ranking individuals adapt their actions to avoid conflict. These hierarchies shift over time as birds age, form alliances, or display strength and skill. Communication plays a central role. Subtle postures, calls, and movements allow birds to negotiate without constant aggression. These complex structures help reduce chaos within the group and ensure that resources are shared efficiently. Social learning also grows from these interactions as younger birds observe experienced members and adopt their strategies. The result is a dynamic society shaped by memory, communication, and cooperation. Understanding these hierarchies sheds light on the emotional and cognitive depth present in avian communities, reminding us that bird societies can be as intricate as those of many mammals. There are birds that can crack open some of the toughest nuts on Earth. Among the forests where sturdy shells protect valuable seeds inside, certain birds have evolved the strength and technique required to break open nuts that resist nearly all other creatures. Their beaks contain layers of dense bone and powerful muscle attachments that generate impressive force. Some birds anchor the nut against a branch or wedge into a crevice before delivering repeated strikes until the shell splits. Others use careful prying motions guided by experience and instinct. Their persistence reveals a combination of physical skill and problem solving. These birds often rely on these foods during seasons when other resources are scarce, making their mastery essential for survival over time. The relationship between bird and nut shapes the evolution of both, driving the shells to harden while the beaks become stronger and more specialized. This enduring struggle demonstrates how nature refines strength and ingenuity in both predator and prize. Some birds can dive into the ocean at breathtaking speeds. There are birds that launch themselves from the sky with such force that their bodies become streamlined arrows plunging into the sea. Before diving, they fold their wings tight against their sides, aligning feathers so precisely that water resistance becomes minimal. As they fall, the air whistles past them, and the surface of the ocean rushes upward. Their eyes shift to a protective shape, allowing clear underwater vision. The moment they break through the waves, their bodies brace for impact, absorbing tremendous pressure that would harm many creatures beneath the surface. They transform instantly from falling missiles into agile swimmers, chasing fish through shifting currents. Their muscles store and release energy in powerful strokes that drive them deeper. This dramatic switch from air to water happens in moments and reveals how thoroughly evolution has shaped them for dual environments. Watching one of these dives is witnessing a single fluid motion where sky and sea seem to merge. A few species can hold their breath underwater longer than expected for their size. Some birds dive beneath the surface and vanish for astonishing periods. Their bodies adapted to conserve oxygen in efficient and subtle ways. Their muscles contain stores that hold oxygen, directly allowing sustained activity even when air is out of reach. Their heart rate slows the moment they submerge, preserving energy while directing oxygen to essential organs. Feathers trap pockets of air that insulate the body from cold, reducing the need to burn fuel for warmth. Their bones are dense enough to reduce buoyancy, helping them sink easily without wasting effort beneath the waves. They move with calm precision, searching for prey or gathering materials while water presses quietly around them. When they surface again, they emerge without strain, ready to dive. Once more, their ability to manage breath so effectively challenges expectations and reveals the remarkable range of adaptations birds have evolved for life at the boundary of two worlds. Some birds can survive freezing temperatures with remarkable adaptations in the coldest corners of the world. Certain birds continue to thrive even as frost grips the landscape and icy winds sweep across open ground. Their feathers layer so densely that warm air becomes trapped close to the skin, forming a natural barrier against the cold. Some species circulate warm blood to their legs with just enough flow to prevent freezing while avoiding unnecessary heat loss. Others huddle in groups at night, sharing collective warmth that allows them to endure temperatures that would overwhelm solitary animals. Their diets shift as seasons change, guiding them toward energy-rich foods that support their demanding metabolisms. Even their behavior adapts. They position themselves to catch early sunlight or shelter within small pockets of terrain that block the worst winds. Their resilience is a harmony of physiology and instinct, revealing how deeply life can adjust to harsh conditions. These birds show that winter is not merely endured, it is met with strategies refined by generations of survival. There are birds that mimic predators to scare rivals away. In the competitive world of food and territory, some birds achieve success using clever deception. They imitate the calls or movements of predators to convince other birds that danger is approaching. This strategy causes rivals to scatter or hesitate, leaving valuable resources temporarily unattended. The mimicry can be surprisingly accurate, echoing the tone or rhythm of fearsome species that pose real threats. These performances require careful timing, since mimicking the wrong sound at the wrong moment could confuse their own flock or attract actual predators. The birds that use this tactic often do so with clear intent, showing awareness of their surroundings and the reactions of their competitors. Scientists observe these behaviors to understand how intelligence and creativity shape survival far beyond simple instinct. Watching a bird employ such cunning misdirection reveals a side of avian behavior filled with strategy, adaptation, and a touch of theatrical flair. Some birds have evolved feathers that generate sound. Among certain species, flight itself becomes a form of Communication as unique feathers transform wind beats into musical tones. These feathers vibrate in the rushing air, producing whistles, hums, or rhythmic pulses that carry through forests and fields. The sound may warn rivals, attract mates, or coordinate movement within the flock. Each feather has a specific shape or stiffness that determines its note, much like a natural instrument. During courtship, some birds exaggerate these sounds with dramatic dives or sweeping arcs, creating performances that blend sight and sound into a single display. Scientists examine these feathers to understand how structure influences vibration and how birds refine these traits over generations. The result is a language built not from vocal cords, but from the aerodynamics of motion, revealing that communication in nature often extends far beyond the realm of voice alone. These feathered instruments turn flight into song and sky into stage. Certain species hide their nests with astonishing camouflage in environments filled with predators. Some birds create nests so cleverly concealed that they become nearly indistinguishable from the surrounding landscape. They weave local materials into their structures, matching color, texture, and even shadow, so precisely that the nest blends seamlessly into moss, bark, sand, or leaves. Some species build on the forest floor, shaping depressions that mimic natural pits. Others tuck their nests into tree crevices, disguising entrances with carefully arranged debris. The placement is not random. Birds choose locations where patterns, lighting, and angles hide their presence from ground and aerial predators alike. Their eggs often carry muted or mottled markings that mirror the environment, adding another layer of protection. By the time a predator passes nearby, the nest appears to be nothing more than part of the scenery. This camouflage reveals the quiet intelligence behind avian survival strategies and the incredible precision of nature's protective designs. Some birds have calls that carry across entire valleys. There are birds whose voices rise with such clarity and power that their songs travel far beyond the immediate forest or hillside. These calls slice through layers of air, echoing from cliffs and rolling across open spaces until they reach distant listeners. Their vocal organs are capable of producing strong, resonant tones while maintaining control over pitch and rhythm. These long-distance calls serve many purposes. They may announce territory, locate mates, or coordinate group activity. The environment enhances the effect as certain valleys or slopes channel sound through natural acoustic corridors. To hear such a call is to feel its presence not only as sound, but as atmosphere, a voice that becomes part of the landscape itself. These birds use the shape of the land as an ally, sending messages farther than sight alone can travel. Their psalms remind us that communication in the wild often transcends boundaries of terrain and distance. There are birds that can see in near darkness, in twilight hours, or beneath dense forest canopies. Some birds navigate with vision far superior to humans. Their eyes contain large pupils that gather faint light, along with specialized cells that enhance contrast and detail. In low illumination, these cells allow them to spot prey, detect predators, and move confidently through landscapes where shadows dominate. Their retinas are shaped to maximize sensitivity rather than color, trading vibrant daytime perception for clarity in dim environments. Some species even adjust their behavior around this visual advantage, hunting at dusk when competition is lower or traveling at night to avoid heat and predators. Their world after sunset appears rich and navigable rather than murky through their eyes. Night becomes a domain filled with shapes, motion, and subtle cues. Their ability reveals how different species carve out niches by adapting not only to spaces, but also to the shifting cycles of light. Some birds create aerial acrobatics that defy expectation. When certain birds take to the sky, their movements become a breathtaking display of control and creativity. They twist, roll, dive, and pivot with astonishing precision, shaping spirals and loops that seem to defy the ordinary limits of flight. Some perform these acrobatics during courtship, using sheer agility to impress potential mates. Others use them in hunting, outmaneuvering insects, or evading predators with sudden, unpredictable turns. Their bodies respond instantly to shifts in wind, and their wings adjust angle and tension through subtle micromovements that keep them balanced and airborne. Observing these aerial displays reveals a combination of strength, instinct, and finely tuned perception. Each maneuver reflects a lifetime shaped by the demands of sky and landscape. Their acrobatics transform the air into a stage where survival and beauty converge, offering fleeting spectacles that vanish as quickly as they appear. A few species can recognize individual humans. Some birds possess memory and perception refined enough to distinguish specific human faces and behaviors. They learn who approaches with gentle intent and who poses a potential threat. Over time, they respond differently to individuals, showing trust toward familiar figures while remaining cautious around strangers. Their recognition may guide decisions about where to feed, when to call alarms, or how closely to approach. Scientists studying this ability suggest that birds track subtle cues such as posture, gait, and facial features. This form of recognition reflects not only intelligence, but a sophisticated social awareness that extends beyond their own species. It demonstrates how deeply birds observe the world around them and how their interactions with humans can shape their daily choices. These connections remind us that birds are not distant creatures of instinct alone, but attentive beings capable of distinguishing one person from another. Some birds coordinate massive flock movements with no leader. When thousands of birds sweep across the sky in a rippling wave, the sight feels almost supernatural. It looks as if an invisible conductor guides their motion, shaping vast, twisting forms that rise and fold like living silk. Yet within these immense flocks, there is no leader. Each bird follows a simple rule: stay close, but not too close. Match the direction and speed of neighbors. Respond instantly to any change. These tiny decisions echo outward, allowing entire flocks to react as one. If a predator approaches from below, the birds ripple upward in a spiraling lift. If a gust of wind shifts, they adjust as a unified mass. Scientists who study these movements find that the flock behaves like a single organism, even though every moment comes from individual choices made in fractions of a heartbeat. These enormous airborne gatherings reveal the beauty of collective intelligence. Every bird contributes to patterns too grand for any one mind to design, turning the sky into a canvas painted by motion, instinct, and shared awareness. Certain birds paint their nests using natural pigments in forests, grasslands, and riverbanks. Some birds transform their nests into vibrant creations by applying pigments gathered from the world around them. They collect minerals, clay, decaying leaves, or fragments of colored bark, then press or smear these materials along the walls of their nests with deliberate care. Each stroke strengthens the structure while adding color that blends the nest into its surroundings or highlights it. During courtship, some pigments help repel insects or prevent harmful bacteria from growing near the eggs. Others act as a protective layer, sealing the nest against rain or wind. Birds that paint often select specific shades, suggesting an awareness of how different colors behave under sunlight or shadow. Their nests become more than shelters. They become expressive artifacts shaped by instinct, environment, and individual choice. Studying these painted homes reveals a fascinating intersection between architecture and biological creativity, where even the smallest details carry purpose and meaning. Some species perform displays that look like living illusions. There are birds whose courtship rituals turn their bodies into shifting optical marvels. They fan feathers into perfect circles, flatten themselves into dramatic silhouettes, or flare bright patterns that appear suddenly and vanish just as quickly. When they move, the colors shimmer and realign, creating the illusion of shapes not actually present. Some displays look like floating or spinning discs of color. Others resemble widening eyes, sweeping arcs, or glowing halos. These illusions are not accidental. They're the result of generations of evolution, selecting for precision, timing, and visual impact. Each performer must execute the display flawlessly, because any slight error may reduce the effect. Females judge not only the brilliance of the feathers, but also the confidence and control in every gesture. Scientists studying these displays find that birds use light, angle, and motion as tools, crafting performances that rival elaborate stage shows. These illusions reveal nature's capacity for theatrical beauty and a surprising depth of communication hidden within feathers and dance. There are birds that clean other animals in symbiotic partnerships across savannas, riverbanks, and open plains, certain birds establish remarkable partnerships with large mammals by removing ticks, biting insects, and dead skin from their bodies. They perch confidently on back shoulders or snouts, moving with a gentle rhythm as they search for hidden parasites the mammals tolerate, and even welcome this attention standing still or shifting position to make the bird's task easier. This partnership benefits both participants. The bird receives a steady supply of food while the host gains relief from pests that can cause infection or irritation. The birds learn to read subtle cues from their partners. A tilt of the head or a shift of muscle may indicate discomfort or a request to move to a new spot. Some birds even issue alarm calls when danger approaches, acting as lookout companions. These relationships show that cooperation in the natural world can bridge enormous differences in size, behavior, and species. They reveal a quiet intimacy built on mutual need and trust. Some birds form alliances across species lines. In certain environments, birds ally themselves not only with members of their own species, but also with entirely different kinds of animals. These alliances arise from shared threats, overlapping habitats, or mutual advantages. A bird with sharp eyesight may alert a mixed group of creatures to an approaching predator. In return, another species may assist by driving intruders away or uncovering food hidden beneath leaves or soil. Over time, these loose partnerships become familiar routines. Birds learn which species are trustworthy and which signals carry the most important meanings. These cross-species alliances require awareness, memory, and flexibility, qualities that highlight the cognitive depth of many avian communities. Observing them reveals that birds comprehend more of their surroundings than simple instinct would suggest. Their cooperation demonstrates a broader truth. Survival is often strengthened not through isolation, but through recognizing the value of unlikely allies in a world shaped by constant change. A few species can fly backward with astonishing ease. Backward flight is one of the rarest abilities in the avian world. Only a select few species possess the wing structure and fine motor control needed to push air in a direction that reverses their movement while keeping their bodies stable. Their wings rotate in tight, controlled arcs, altering the tilt and angle of each feather to generate lift without forward momentum. This skill allows them to hover near flowers, maneuver through tight spaces, and adjust position with remarkable precision. Their muscles must respond instantly to small disturbances in the air, and their eyes track objects at distances far too close for typical flight. The coordination required is immense. Every beat must align perfectly with the flow of air around their bodies. Watching these birds fly backward feels like witnessing the physics of flight turn inside out. It reveals how evolution can refine movement into an art form, granting certain species a mastery of motion unmatched by any other bird. Some birds survive deserts by extracting moisture from unexpected sources. In scorching regions where the sun drains water from the land and shade is scarce, certain birds endure conditions that seem nearly impossible. They obtain moisture not by seeking pools or streams, but by drawing it from insect seeds or even the faint dew that forms in early morning hours. Their bodies conserve water with astonishing efficiency. Waste is expelled in forms that lose minimal fluid. Their breathing and cooling systems limit evaporation, allowing them to remain hydrated even when temperatures rise relentlessly. Many desert birds are active during the cooler hours of dawn and dusk, resting in shaded crevices during the heat of day. Some rely on specialized feathers that shield them from direct sunlight, while others regulate temperature through behaviors such as wing spreading or sand bathing. Their survival in these harsh landscapes reveals the extraordinary versatility of avian biology and the diverse strategies life develops when water becomes the rarest treasure of all. Certain birds migrate in loops that circle entire oceans. Migration for some species forms an immense circular journey that spans entire marine basins, tracing slow, graceful arcs across the globe. These birds follow seasonal winds and shifting atmospheric currents that help carry them efficiently across the water. Their routes are not simple round trips, but full loops that never repeat the same path twice within a single year. They read cues from the sun, the position of stars, the planet's magnetic field, and even the texture of winds over waves. By following these rotating patterns, they find food in distant waters that emerge only during specific seasons. They avoid storms by adjusting altitude and timing. Their looping migrations reveal deep knowledge encoded within instinct and reinforced by experience. These birds weave connections between continents and oceans, stitching distant ecosystems together. Their journeys show how avian life is intertwined with the rhythms of the entire planet, moving in grand cycles shaped by air, light, and tides. Some birds hold territories larger than many human cities in vast tundras, forests, and wetlands. Certain birds claim enormous territories that stretch farther than the eye can see. These expanses provide enough food, nesting opportunities, and open space to support their families throughout the year. To maintain such territory, they patrol immense distances, calling from prominent perches or circling overhead to signal ownership. Their sense of spatial awareness is extraordinary. They recognize distant landmarks, shifts in wind patterns, and subtle features of the terrain that mark the outer edges of their domain. Maintaining such a large territory demands physical endurance, vigilance, and memory. Other birds learn to respect these boundaries, avoiding conflict by recognizing territorial calls or displays. These immense ranges reveal how some species rely on solitude and vast open areas to thrive. The territories encompass entire landscapes, giving us a sense of how enormous and interconnected their world truly is. There are birds that whisper songs too soft for most ears, hidden among leaves or perched in quiet shadows. Some birds produce songs so delicate that they nearly dissolve into the breeze. These soft notes travel only short distances, creating a private form of communication meant for close companions rather than the entire forest. Their whispers may signal reassurance, maintain pair bonds, or coordinate subtle movements within a group. Producing such faint sound requires refined control of the vocal organs, allowing the bird to craft tones that hover just above silence. These songs blend with rustling branches and distant insects, forming a soundscape of intimate messages that many creatures never notice. To hear one is to enter a gentle world where communication is soft, careful, and deeply personal. The existence of these whispers reminds us that not all birds rely on grand displays or echoing calls. Some communicate in ways that favor closeness over spectacle and subtlety over volume. Some species of calls that can mimic alarms from other animals in dense habitats where many species live side by side. Certain birds have learned to mimic the alarm calls of completely different animals. This remarkable ability allows them to shape the behavior of an entire community. When they imitate the warning cry of a mammal or another bird nearby, creatures react instantly. Some freeze, others flee, and still others take to the air in a burst of panic. These birds use such mimicry to disrupt feeding groups, distract rivals, or gain access to resources that would otherwise be defended. Their vocal organs are flexible enough to create sounds that match the pitch, rhythm, and emotional tone of genuine alarms. They listen closely to the subtleties of local species and store these patterns in memory. When they deploy one of these borrowed warnings, the forest or grassland may shift into sudden motion, revealing the power held within a single small voice. This ability shows how communication is not limited to one species alone, but can ripple across entire ecosystems, shaping behavior and survival in complex and surprising ways. Certain birds line their nests with fragrant leaves to deter pests in forests and woodland environments. Some birds gather leaves from aromatic plants and carefully place them within the walls of their nests. These leaves release natural scents that repel insects, such as mites, ants, or parasites that might otherwise harm the eggs or young chicks. The bird selects specific types of leaves, often favoring plants known for medicinal or cleansing properties. Their choices are not random. They repeatedly return to the same species of plant year after year, suggesting that experience and instinct guide their selection. As the leaves warm in the sun, their fragrant oils diffuse into the nest, creating a protective atmosphere that discourages unwelcome visitors. Some birds refresh the leaves during the nesting period, maintaining the strength of the scent barrier. This behavior shows a subtle understanding of how plant chemistry influences health and safety. It reveals that nest building is not solely an act of construction, but also an act of care preparation and deep interaction with the surrounding habitat. Some birds can strike prey with lightning speed across open fields, riverbanks, and forest edges. There are birds whose hunting style depends on breathtaking bursts of speed. They perch quietly, scanning the world for a flicker of movement. When a moment arrives, they launch with astonishing acceleration, covering distance so quickly that prey scarcely has time to react. Their bodies are built for this sudden motion. Powerful leg muscles help them push off with force. Their wings unfold in aerodynamic shapes that reduce resistance and carry them in a direct line toward their target. Their eyes remain locked on the prey, processing movement at a pace far faster than human vision. When they strike, it is with precision, shaped by instinct and experience. This speed allows them to capture insects, small mammals, or fish that depend on agility for survival. The entire event may last only a heartbeat, yet it defines the bird's ability to feed itself and its young. Their lightning-fast strikes reveal the incredible range of predatory strategies found in the natural world. There are birds that sunbathe for reasons that reveal deep evolutionary secrets. On warm days, certain birds can be seen spreading their wings wide, lowering their bodies, and turning toward the sun in still, deliberate poses. This sunbathing behavior may appear leisurely, yet it serves essential functions tied to health, cleanliness, and survival. The heat loosens parasites that hide among feathers, making them easier to remove during grooming. Sunlight also dries damp plumage and helps regulate body temperature after cold nights. Some researchers believe that exposure to sunlight may contribute to the production of compounds that support feather maintenance or skin health. The behavior is ancient, shared by species across many branches of the avian family tree, suggesting that sunbathing arose early in their evolution. Birds choose specific times of day for this ritual, often when the sun is strong and wind is gentle. Observing them during these moments reveals a fascinating intersection of instinct and environment. Their calm stillness under the warm light offers a glimpse into a quiet tradition passed through countless generations. Some birds puff up their feathers to become living displays, to communicate power, attract mates, or deter rivals. Some birds transform their bodies by expanding their feathers until they appear dramatically larger. They raise the fine layers of plumage across their chest, back, or neck, creating rounded shapes that alter their silhouette. Colors that usually remain hidden suddenly flare into view. Patterns seem to grow and shift as light catches the curved surfaces. These displays are carefully timed and often accompanied by vocalizations or rhythmic movements. By exaggerating their size, birds may signal strength without needing to fight. When used in courtship, these displays highlight the quality of the feathers and the health of the individual. Birds that can puff up their plumage with finesse demonstrate control, coordination, and confidence. The effect can be striking, turning a familiar species into a vibrant living sculpture. For a brief moment, this transformation reveals how communication in nature extends far beyond sound, relying on shape, motion, and visual language to express emotion and intention. Certain bird pairs coordinate nest building like choreographed teams. In many species, nest building becomes a shared project, where both members of a pair contribute with precision and harmony. Each bird takes on specific roles, gathering materials, weaving structural layers, or shaping the interior with meticulous care. Their coordination is so refined that they often move in rhythm, passing twigs, grasses, or leaves back and forth with practiced ease. Over time, they learn each other's preferences and strengths, adjusting their roles as needed. One bird may excel at selecting strong supporting branches, while the other specializes in lining the interior for warmth. Their cooperation strengthens their bond, reinforcing the partnership that will support them through the challenges of raising young. The result is a structure built not only from materials, but from trust and communication. Watching these pairs at work reveals a dance of instinct and unity, where each movement contributes to a safe and nurturing home. Some birds swallow stones to help them digest food in habitats where their diet includes tough seeds, fibrous plants, or hard shells. Some birds swallow small stones that settle into a muscular chamber within their digestive system. This chamber known as the gizzard grinds food with the help of these stones, breaking it into pieces soft enough for the stomach to process. Birds select stones of specific sizes and shapes, often testing them briefly before swallowing. Over time, the stones grow smooth from constant motion and are eventually replaced. This method of mechanical digestion allows birds to access nutrients that would otherwise remain locked inside resistant materials. It also helps them process food more quickly, supporting the high energy demands of flight. The practice demonstrates remarkable ingenuity. Instead of relying solely on chemical digestion, these birds incorporate elements of the landscape into their bodies, turning simple pebbles into essential tools for survival. There are birds that play games for reasons scientists are still uncovering. In moments of calm or curiosity, some birds engage in behaviors that closely resemble play. They chase one another through the airdrop and catch small objects or slide down snowy hillsides with apparent delight. Sometimes they toss sticks into the wind, retrieve them, and toss them again. These playful actions may strengthen social bonds, build physical skill, or provide mental stimulation. Young birds often learn important survival abilities through these games, testing their balance, coordination, and awareness. Adults engage in play as well, suggesting that enjoyment or exploration motivates them beyond practical needs. Scientists continue to study these behaviors to understand their purpose, but the joy seems unmistakable. Watching birds play offers a glimpse into their inner lives, revealing that curiosity and experimentation are woven into their nature. Play becomes a window into intelligence, emotion, and the shared experience of simply existing in a dynamic world. Some birds migrate in complete darkness, guided by the stars. During long nocturnal migrations, many birds travel through moonless skies where the only available landmarks are the distant constellations. They lift into the night with quiet determination, navigating through darkness by reading patterns of starlight that remain consistent across seasons. Their internal sense of direction integrates these celestial cues with memory and magnetic awareness. Even when clouds drift across the sky, they maintain course with surprising accuracy. Scientists have found that young birds learn the rotation of the night sky through experience, imprinting the positions of the stars during early life. Once migration begins, they carry this map within their minds, adjusting their flight with grace and certainty. The world below becomes a shadowed landscape, yet they move with purpose, guided by ancient instincts older than human history. These nighttime journeys reveal the profound connection between avian life and the rhythms of the cosmos. A few species can see magnetic fields as patterns of light. Among the most extraordinary abilities in the avian world is the capacity of some species to perceive magnetic fields through visual sensations. Special molecules in their eyes respond to magnetic forces, creating subtle patterns or gradients that overlay their normal vision. These patterns guide them during migration, allowing them to sense direction with remarkable precision. To these birds, the planet's magnetic field is not an invisible phenomenon, but a visual cue woven into their perception. This ability may help them adjust course during storms, navigate featureless terrain, or return to nesting sites located across vast distances. Researchers studying this phenomenon believe that birds may see faint shifting hues or directional glows that correspond to the magnetic lines surrounding Earth. This sensory integration creates a world richer than human experience, where navigation becomes a blend of sight, instinct, and planetary energy. Their magnetic vision reveals how deeply birds are attuned to the forces shaping life on Earth. Some birds carry seeds across continents, shaping entire ecosystems across forests, grasslands, mountains, and far-reaching coastlines. Certain birds perform one of the most important ecological services on the planet as they travel between feeding grounds, resting places, and migration routes. Seeds cling to their feathers or pass through their digestive systems unharmed. When these seeds fall onto new soil, often far from where they were first eaten, they may sprout and take root, shaping the next generation of plant communities. This dispersal can cross valleys, mountain ranges, or entire continental regions. Birds select fruits that contain nutritious pulp, and the seeds inside gain a free ride to lands where competition may be lower, climate more favorable, or soil richer. Some plants depend almost entirely on birds producing fruit with colors and scents specifically designed to attract avian foragers. Over many years, this partnership creates forests where none once stood, repopulates areas damaged by storms or fire, and maintains the delicate balance between species. The silent journeys of these birds become the blueprint for vast ecosystems, demonstrating how life spreads through movement, instinct, and the simple act of flight. Certain birds can change their songs as they age. For some species, song is not a fixed part of identity, but a dynamic skill that transforms throughout their lives. Young birds often begin with rough, simple versions of the melodies they hear around them. Through practice, imitation, and trial, these early attempts gradually sharpen into clear, mature songs. With age, the voice may deepen, soften, or develop subtle flourishes that were absent in youth. Environmental experiences also shape these changes. Birds exposed to varied habitats or complex social interactions gather acoustic knowledge that becomes woven into the evolving sound of their songs. As they move through seasons, their vocal behavior reflects new priorities. A youthful song may aim to attract a mate, while later songs may focus on territory defense or communication with established partners. These shifts reveal a learning process that continues throughout life, highlighting memory, intelligence, and adaptability. A bird's voice becomes a biography carried on the wind, expressing its journey from inexperienced youth to seasoned adulthood. Some species gather at night to exchange information when daylight fades and landscapes grow quiet. Certain birds gather in safe communal roosts where hundreds or even thousands come together. These nighttime meetings become hubs of communication. Individuals returning from distant feeding grounds share subtle cues about food availability, weather patterns, and shifting environmental conditions. The group benefits from this collective knowledge. Birds that struggle to find food during the day may follow companions to new locations the next morning. Younger or inexperienced individuals learn routes and behaviors by observing elders. The roost also provides warmth, protection, and a sense of security during vulnerable hours. Soft chirps, gentle movements, and quiet calls weave through the group, creating a social atmosphere where information flows without overwhelming noise. Scientists studying these gatherings find that group decision-making begins long before dawn, shaping the direction and behavior of the entire flock. Once sunlight returns, these nighttime councils reveal the complexity of avian societies and the intelligence guiding their daily choices. There are birds that sleep standing on one leg in wetlands, forests, and open fields. Some birds balance effortlessly on one leg. As they drift into rest, this behavior appears peculiar to human eyes, yet it is both efficient and protective. By tucking one leg into their plumage, they conserve body heat, reducing the amount of warmth lost through exposed skin. Their unique skeletal structure includes a natural locking mechanism that keeps joints stable without requiring muscular effort. This allows them to remain upright while asleep without fear of falling. Alternating legs ensures that both remain warm and rested. For birds that live in watery habitats, sleeping on one leg also limits contact with cold or moving water. The position keeps the body aligned in a way that helps maintain balance, even in gentle currents or shifting winds. Observing this posture reveals how birds blend stillness and practicality. Their resting stance embodies elegance, efficiency, and the remarkable adaptations woven into daily life. Some birds have feathers that repel water, like living umbrellas. Certain species rely on plumage that sheds water so effectively that raindrops roll off like beads, sliding across a polished surface. This waterproofing comes from a combination of microscopic feather structure and oils produced by glands near the tail. Birds spread these oils carefully through their feathers during grooming, ensuring even coverage and long-lasting protection. With this barrier in place, feathers remain light and functional even during storms, allowing flight to continue unhindered. For birds that dive or swim, this water repellent layer prevents cold from penetrating to the skin and locks in warm air for insulation. The structure of each feather channels water outward, guiding droplets away from the body. With remarkable efficiency, This adaptation transforms wings and body coverings into natural weather shields. It reveals how birds maintain warmth, buoyancy, and mobility under challenging conditions, and how thousands of years of evolution refine even the smallest details of protection. Certain species disguise themselves by mimicking surrounding textures. Some birds blend into their habitats with camouflage so precise that they appear to vanish against bark, stone, sand, or forest foliage there. Feathers contain patterns that replicate the shapes and colors of their environment, forming mottled lines, speckles, or streaks that break up the outline of their bodies. They may sit motionless for long periods, trusting their disguise to protect them from predators. The slightest tilt of the head can align feather markings with cracks in the bark or grooves in a rock, strengthening the illusion. Their posture often assists the effect by flattening their bodies or stretching their necks. They enhance resemblance to branches, logs, or leaves. Some even freeze with eyes half closed, reducing the glint of reflected light. This camouflage is not merely a static trait, but a dynamic interaction between body and environment. It allows birds to hide nests, guard young, and hunt undetected. Their mastery of disguise reveals nature's artistry. At its most intricate, some birds call under the water in ways that challenge expectations. Certain aquatic birds emit sounds while submerged, creating ripples of communication that travel differently through water than through air. These calls are soft and often low-pitched, shaped by the dense medium that surrounds them. Scientists believe these underwater vocalizations help individuals coordinate movements, locate companions, or flush prey from hiding places. Producing sound beneath the surface requires careful control of air pockets within the body and adjustments to vocal structures that behave differently when water pressure increases. The calls travel efficiently across short distances, allowing birds to maintain awareness even in murky or turbulent waters. Observations reveal that these underwater voices vary with depth, lighting, and the presence of potential threats. For birds that spend large portions of their lives diving, such communication becomes essential. It forms a hidden language beneath the waves, offering a rare glimpse into how animals adapt communication to environments where light fades and silence dominates. There are birds that blend science and art through feather patterns. Some birds wear plumage so striking and mathematically precise that their patterns resemble living works of art. Spirals, chevrons, diamonds, gradients, and waves appear across their wings and bodies with astonishing symmetry. These patterns arise from the arrangement of feather cells, pigments, and microscopic structures that shape how light interacts with color. Each design carries biological meaning. Some attract mates through bold visual signals, while others create camouflage or confuse predators. Scientists study these patterns to understand how physics, genetics, and evolution combine to form such intricate designs. The birds themselves carry these patterns effortlessly, revealing them with a turn of the head or a moment of sunlight. To behold these natural artworks is to witness a union of beauty and survival, expression and function. These feathered canvases remind us that in the natural world, art is not separate from life. It is built into every cell, every curve, and every shifting glow. Some birds use deception in their mating rituals. Courtship in many species involves elaborate performances, but for certain birds, success depends on carefully crafted deception. A male may hide flaws in his plumage by choosing specific lighting or postures. Others clear small display grounds, arranging objects to enhance their appearance or draw attention away from weaknesses. Some perform feats that exaggerate strength, endurance, or coordination. These deceptions do not guarantee success because females watch with keen scrutiny, evaluating every movement and sound. The interactions become a subtle negotiation where each gesture carries meaning. Although deceptive tactics may seem dishonest, they form part of a complex evolutionary game that shapes behavior over generations. Birds refine their displays, and observers refine their ability to detect exaggeration. This evolutionary dialogue produces courtship rituals filled with drama, beauty, and remarkable intelligence. These deceptive performances demonstrate how communication in nature is shaped not only by honesty, but also by strategy and competition. A few species maintain friendships over many years. Among some birds, social bonds extend far beyond simple flock membership. Long-term friendships form between individuals who recognize one another, remember shared experiences, and choose to spend time together year after year. These friendships may begin in youth and persist through changes in season, habitat, and social structure. Birds with strong bonds engage in cooperative behavior, such as preening, coordinated foraging, or supportive calling. They defend one another from rivals, share information about food, or travel together during migration. Scientists observing these relationships see patterns similar to alliances found in highly social mammals. These connections reveal emotional depth and cognitive awareness previously underestimated in avian life. Friendships support survival, reduce stress, and create stable social environments where individuals thrive. They show that birds experience companionship in a way that mirrors surprisingly human qualities, shaping not only how they live, but how they understand one another. Some birds can detect insects hiding deep beneath bark. In quiet forests where trunks stretch toward the canopy, certain birds possess an extraordinary ability to locate insects that burrow deep within layers of wood. They listen for faint vibrations created by movement or feeding, sounds far too subtle for human ears. Their hearing is attuned to minute changes in texture and resonance, allowing them to map the inner structure of bark and wood. Their beaks, shaped with exquisite precision, act as delicate probes that tap, pry, and test surfaces until the hidden insect is found. Some species use their tongues, long and flexible, to reach into narrow openings where prey hides. Others chip away fragments of bark in controlled patterns that expose tunnels without damaging the surrounding tree more than necessary. This entire process reflects a partnership with the forest where every tap reveals a clue. Their remarkable sensory perception allows them to harvest nourishment from places invisible to most creatures, revealing a form of intelligence grounded in sound, touch, and a deep understanding of living wood. During heavy rain, strong winds, and sharp temperature changes, the birds collect soft mud in small beakfuls, transporting it piece by piece to the building site and placing each clump with care to form entrances, walls, and interior chambers with remarkable symmetry. And as the mud dries, it binds into a material as strong as baked clay. Some nests resemble tiny pottery bowls, while others form intricate multi-chamber dwellings that house entire colonies, a process requiring cooperation, patience, and exquisite control of moisture, revealing architectural mastery achieved without tools, blueprints, or written plans, standing as enduring monuments to the ingenuity of birds and the remarkable structures that can arise from simple earth when shaped by purpose and instinct. A few species use fire in surprising and sophisticated ways. Watching the edges of flames as they advance across grasslands or woodlands, knowing insects and small animals flee ahead of the heat, positioning themselves strategically to capture prey flushed from the flames, with reports of some birds even picking up smoldering sticks and dropping them into unburned areas to expose more prey, suggesting an understanding of cause and effect far more advanced than previously assumed, where fire becomes a tool rather than a threat, revealing a powerful fusion of instinct, observation, and environmental awareness that shows how deeply birds read the land and its shifting forces. Some birds improvise unique songs never heard before, pushing the boundaries of their song traditions with new notes, rhythms, or melodic twists during moments of exploration, practice, or heightened emotion, experimenting with sound to shape sequences that may later become part of their regular repertoire. And if other birds respond positively, the new patterns may spread through the population, over time shifting entire song cultures. This improvisational ability demonstrates memory, flexibility, and a desire to express beyond fixed instinct, with each new phrase reflecting individual personality and experience, creating a living soundscape that evolves year after year, reminding us that creativity is not limited to humans, but woven into the natural world. There are birds that glide across water surfaces with effortless grace, skimming inches above the ocean, using subtle changes in air pressure created by waves to maintain lift while expending minimal energy, a technique known as surface gliding that allows long-distance travel without flapping, conserving strength for hunting or migration. With their bodies rising and falling with the swells while maintaining astonishing stability and their eyes focused ahead to read patterns in the waves. Appearing almost weightless from shore, demonstrating mastery of flight that transforms even the boundary between air and water into a pathway for movement. Some species navigate entire continents by smell, relying on faint chemical signatures carried by air currents from forests, coastlines, mountains, and oceans to create invisible maps they learn to interpret, detecting changes in humidity, vegetation, and mineral composition of the soil below, combining olfactory information with memory to locate nesting sites, feeding grounds, or migration corridors. And even when storms disrupt landmarks, their sense of smell provides stable guidance. A remarkable skill allowing them to travel thousands of miles guided by atmospheric scents, revealing a hidden dimension of navigation carried on every breeze. Certain birds adjust their feathers to control aerodynamic lift, exploiting shifts in air pressure by manipulating the angle, tension, and spacing of their feathers to refine the lift that keeps them aloft, demonstrating exquisite control over flight, stability, and energy in the sky. Birds adjust their feathers moment by moment as they sense the movement of wind across their bodies, lifting some feathers slightly to catch new air while flattening others to reduce turbulence, transforming their wings into living instruments of aerodynamic control, each motion crafted with precision. When climbing, they spread feathers to capture rising currents. When descending, they angle them for smooth, controlled glides, and during tight turns, minute adjustments across the wings allow graceful pivots without losing speed, revealing an intimate relationship with the sky shaped by instinct and constant feedback from the air, where mastery of lift becomes a dialogue between feather and wind visible through every curve, twist, and rise. Some birds can delay egg hatching to synchronize their chicks, evolving remarkable control over the timing of embryonic development so that all offspring emerge nearly simultaneously, influencing survival by ensuring no chick is too far ahead or behind. Parents regulate temperature of individual eggs, or embryos pause development temporarily, waiting for environmental or parental signals. So when hatching occurs, chicks explore, feed, and grow together, maximizing parental care efficiency and revealing an almost orchestral understanding of timing. Among flowering trees and vibrant landscapes, some birds drink nectar using specialized tongues shaped into tubes, brushes, frayed tips, or split channels, rapidly drawing liquid from deep within blossoms while slender, curved beaks fit perfectly into the flowers, simultaneously transferring pollen and supporting entire ecosystems through delicate, instinct-guided exchanges. Certain birds build nests that change color over time, using materials such as grasses that fade from green to gold, mud that darkens, or fibers that bleach in sunlight, creating a living timeline of weather, growth, and exposure. This dynamic coloration improves camouflage, signals age or stability to potential mates, and reflects subtle environmental awareness, transforming nests into adaptive structures that interact with light, texture, and a natural progression of time. In vast plains, some birds survive by following massive herds of mammals, tracking their movement across miles and seasons, feeding on insects, seeds, and small creatures disturbed by the animals while benefiting from protection against predators, developing keen awareness of herd patterns to anticipate rest, shifts, or splits, forming a moving ecosystem where survival depends on reading the rhythms of these larger creatures. In twilight or dense forests where visibility is limited, certain birds create echo-based maps by producing clicks, chirps, or short calls that bounce off nearby surfaces, returning echoes that reveal the position of trees, cliffs, or obstacles, allowing them to adjust wing beats, angles, and speed, and create mental maps of their surroundings, a subtle but powerful adaptation that combines sound, memory, and spatial awareness to navigate complex environments. Birds display an extraordinary array of behaviors and adaptations that reveal the depth of their intelligence, creativity, and interaction with the environment. Some decorate their nests with color, choosing pigments that repel insects, prevent bacteria, or blend with the surroundings, transforming shelters into expressive artifacts shaped by instinct, environment, and individual choice. Courtship rituals often create living illusions, with feathers fanned into perfect circles, dramatic silhouettes, or shifting patterns that appear and vanish with movement, each gesture evaluated by females for brilliance, confidence, and precision. Certain species engage in symbiotic partnerships with mammals, removing parasites while receiving food, and some form cross-species alliances to warn of predators or uncover hidden food, demonstrating awareness, memory, and social flexibility. A few species can fly backward with precision, extracting moisture from unconventional sources in deserts while minimizing water loss, and undertake immense looping migrations guided by celestial cues, atmospheric currents, and magnetic fields. Birds claim territories larger than human cities, communicate with whisper-like songs, or mimic alarm calls of other animals, line nests with fragrant leaves for pest control, and strike prey with lightning-fast precision. Sunbathing, puffing feathers for display, and coordinated nest building reflect both practical and social intelligence, while swallowing stones aids digestion, and play supports learning, social bonds, and curiosity. Nocturnal gatherings facilitate information, exchange about food and conditions, and sleeping on one leg conserves heat and ensures balance. Waterproof plumage, camouflage, and underwater vocalizations highlight physical and sensory adaptations, while intricate feather patterns, deceptive courtship displays, and long-term friendships reveal artistry, strategy, and emotional depth. Birds locate hidden insects, construct durable mud nests, exploit fire to flush prey, improvise new songs, glide over water surfaces, and navigate continents by scent, while adjusting feathers to control aerodynamic lift with moment-to-moment precision. They can synchronize hatching, use specialized tongues to drink nectar, build nests that change color over time, follow massive herds for safety and food, and navigate via echolocation like clicks in dense environments. Wing drumming conveys coded messages. Oxygen-storing muscles support deep dives, and volcanic habitats demonstrate adaptability. Mixed species foraging flocks improve efficiency and survival, and chicks emerge with down that changes color for camouflage. These abilities, combined with sensory integration of sound, smell, and magnetic perception, demonstrate birds' remarkable intelligence, adaptability, and creativity, revealing a world where survival, communication, and beauty are intertwined in intricate, dynamic, and often astonishing ways. Birds undergo remarkable developmental transformations and display astonishing behavioral adaptations that reveal intelligence, creativity, and a deep connection with their environment. Changes in plumage correspond to developmental needs, as chicks that once required concealment later develop feathers optimized for temperature regulation, while color shifts signal maturity to parents, prompting adjustments in feeding and care. Migration is often learned from elders, with young birds accompanying experienced adults on their first journeys, observing navigation by memory, wind, scent, and stars, and eventually passing this knowledge to the next generation, creating migratory traditions that span centuries. Some birds live in near-constant flight for years, feeding on the wing, sleeping in brief intervals, and relying on long, narrow wings and rising air currents to glide vast distances with minimal effort, only returning to land to breed. Certain species employ mimicry to lure prey, imitating insects, fish, or small creatures through movement and feather vibrations, and even creating ripples with objects, demonstrating patience, coordination, and an advanced understanding of prey perception. Many birds time migrations to planetary wind cycles, sensing temperature, humidity, and pressure to align departures with supportive currents, conserving energy and transforming migration into a collaboration with the atmosphere. Nesting behavior is equally sophisticated. Some birds build hanging, cradle-like nests in forests or savannas, weaving fibers, grasses, and vines with precision, orienting entrances downward to thwart predators, and creating structures that sway in the wind yet remain secure, while other nests display dynamic color changes that provide camouflage and environmental signaling. Across all these behaviors, from developmental changes in migration to hunting strategies, architectural ingenuity, and atmospheric awareness, birds reveal a complex, adaptive, and deeply interconnected relationship with their habitats, their peers, and the larger planetary systems that shape life, blending instinct, learning, and creativity into survival strategies honed over countless generations. There are birds that can read subtle air pressure changes. The atmosphere shifts continually as storms form, winds rise, and temperatures fluctuate. Some birds possess an exceptional ability to detect minute changes in air pressure long before weather becomes visible. This sensitivity allows them to predict approaching storms and adjust their behavior accordingly. They may delay migration, seek shelter, or alter feeding routines when pressure drops. Their internal sensors provide a level of environmental awareness beyond human perception. Scientists believe specialized structures in their bodies detect these shifts, functioning like natural barometers. This ability influences not only survival, but also navigation, since air pressure patterns help birds understand which direction leads toward calmer skies. Their connection to atmospheric changes reflects a profound harmony with the environment. They read the language of the air itself, responding to messages carried on invisible waves. Through this subtle awareness, birds move with foresight that guides their lives across unpredictable seasons. Some species communicate through complex body language. Beyond song and call, many birds rely on body movement to express emotion, intention, and identity. They tilt their heads, flare their feathers, adjust their posture, or perform specific gestures that convey meaning within their species. A raised crest may signal excitement or alarm. A lowered wing might invite a companion to pin. Rapid foot movements can demonstrate enthusiasm during courtship. These gestures create a rich visual language where subtle shifts communicate messages that sound alone cannot carry. Body language strengthens social bonds, reduces conflict, and coordinates group behavior. Young birds learn these cues through careful observation, absorbing the nuances of posture and movement from elders. The result is a sophisticated system of communication that reveals emotional depth and social intelligence. Observing this visual language opens a window into avian relationships, showing how much meaning flows through the quiet dance of feathers and form. Certain birds coordinate food sharing with elaborate etiquette. In some species, food sharing follows a complex set of rules influenced by social status, pair bonds, and emotional connection. Adults may offer food to mates as part of courtship, presenting it with specific movements that signal generosity and devotion. Parents distribute nourishment among chicks in precise sequences, ensuring fairness or rewarding particular behaviors. Within larger groups, individuals may give food to allies to strengthen relationships or to younger birds to teach cooperation. These exchanges require memory, recognition, and the ability to interpret subtle cues from the recipient. Sharing becomes an essential part of social life, shaping trust and unity within the flock. Through these refined interactions, birds demonstrate a sensitivity to the needs and expectations of others. Their etiquette reveals traditions passed down through generations and highlights the depth of communication and empathy woven into avian societies. Some birds weave plant fibers into intricate textiles. Among the many marvels of avian construction, certain species create nests so finely woven they resemble handcrafted textiles. They collect slender plant fibers, stretching and twisting them until the strand become soft threads ready for weaving. With their beaks acting as both loom and shuttle, They form tight spirals, overlapping braids, and interlocking patterns that hold firmly without knots. These nests may include grasses, bark strips, or the delicate fibers from seed pods. Some birds even soften materials by chewing them briefly, making them more pliable for weaving. The final result is a cradle with flexible walls that expand as chicks grow, yet remain strong enough to endure wind and weather. These woven structures demonstrate extraordinary craftsmanship, guided entirely by instinct and practice. They reveal how birds create beauty and function simultaneously, transforming simple plant fibers into shelters that cradle life with remarkable artistry. As our journey with the birds drifts to a close, let your mind settle like feathers finding their resting place. We have wandered through skies and forests, across oceans and distant seasons, guided by wings that reveal just how wide and wondrous the living world can be. Each detail you explore tonight is only a small glimpse of the brilliance that surrounds us, a reminder that even the quietest creatures carry entire universes of mystery within them. If you enjoyed this peaceful exploration, I invite you to like, subscribe, or leave a gentle thought below. It helps others find their way here, one sleepy soul at a time. For now, let your breath soften. Let your body grow still. Let the last traces of curiosity fade into comfort as the night settles around you. Good night.